ASMR reality. And I wanted to start by mentioning that I changed my microphone settings a little bit because a couple of you had mentioned the last video my dog's snoring was a little loud, so hopefully I might have made an adjustment to get that to not be so obvious, though I'm sure they're still gonna snore. Secondly, I got this cool thing. I was texting with with someone I met recently, and she had sent me an emoji of the moon, and so this was like a moon that was like it wasn't like just a circle full moon. It was like a little crescent. And so I thought to myself, I wonder if that's what the moon looks like tonight. So I asked her, is that what the moon looks like tonight? And she said, I don't know, but it would be cool if it was. And so I thought, wow, wouldn't that be cool if there was a way that when you sent the moon emoji that it would send the moon that is today, whatever phase the moon was in. So I'm giving this out there. Somebody could make an app or make some sort of money off that, probably, because I think it would be popular. I think people would use it. I would use it. I think it's very cool. So anyway, that's just one idea I had. And then let's see what else. I wanted to mention that in my last video, which was on finance, I had got that suggestion from several people, but like literally back to back. I got it one night, and then the next night, well, I forgot to mention that Sam London had requested that as well, so I forgot him when I mentioned it because he had asked for it, so wanted to give him a quick shout out. And tonight I am going to be talking about a pretty serious topic, so I wanted to get some of that. I wanted to start with some lighthearted stuff because tonight's going to be a little bit heavy because we're going to be talking about the topic of death. I got a comment from Elijah Haas, and he said, here's another video I did that I was discussing in my philosophy group, getting over the fear of death and how liberating it can be to live your life day to day. I think it's a great topic because people are normally reluctant to discuss death. So let's watch this quick video clip before we get started.
If you die today, your mother, me, and maybe another 50, 75 people show up. By 2 p.m., half of us are hungry. We're booking restaurants. By 5 p.m., your mom can't shed any more tears. She goes home, she goes to bed, and in the morning she figures out, how do I pay the bill? And everybody's back to work. Long gone dream, baby.
Now this guy he kind of makes it like nobody cares. Like once you die, it's over, but it's cold, but there's some brutal reality to it, and that is, hypothetically, if you died today, your funeral's in 3 days. Everybody you know and everybody that loves you is going to come, and they are going to leave, and the world is just going to keep on going. It doesn't matter who dies today. If Donald Trump dies today, if Joe Biden dies today, if Tom Cruise dies today, if LeBron James dies today, Tiger Woods, nobody. The world stops for no one. And literally, it would be a news article tomorrow and it would be over. Now, like if somebody like Donald Trump died, I mean, obviously there'd be people celebrating. There'd be people devastated as well, but it would be in the news a little bit longer. But truly, after a couple days, it would be over. Even for the most popular people. So there is some ugly truth to the fact that truly we all get over it, you know. I'm sure you guys have all lost somebody that you love. I've lost my brother. I lost my brother when he was 18 and I was 28. And it was very hard, but here I am. I've survived. I've lived basically 25 years without him. I've survived. I think about him a lot, but I've survived. Everybody just moves on. My mom was extremely affected by it, but she just moved on. But his comment is pretty specific to the fear of death and how liberating it can be to not have that. And so I believe that I have that. I have figured out a way to not be afraid. And truthfully, I did used to think about it a lot more somberly than I do today, because it's not that I'm like excited to die. I definitely don't want to die, but I'm not afraid to. And I kind of think I've figured out a way, like mentally, to see the benefits of it. Not, again, please understand, I'm not gonna do it. I would never hurt myself. I don't want to die. I've got a lot of reasons to live, but there are things that make me excited about seeing what's on the other side, and that is how I believe that is the way to get over the fear. You have to stop looking at it as something that is so brutal. I think a lot of us associate pain, like we think we're going to die in some brutal car crash, or, whatever way you think that's going to be painful, even if it's cancer or something like that. Those are painful diseases that end up taking a lot of people out. And so it can be, I think sometimes associating death with pain makes us dread it, but it doesn't have to be painful, and it's not necessarily going to be painful. I mean, I think that people, a lot of death is sudden, whether it's a heart attack, whether it's a plane crash. I mean, sadly, I think most of those people in plane crash, they know it's coming, they know the plane is going down, but they don't feel anything. It's sudden, it's immediate. Same thing with a lot of car crashes. If they're like brutal car crashes, it's over instantaneously. Obviously there's a lot of other bad ways to go, but most people actually just expire. They die of old age, and they end up just dying. And I think the majority of us, that's how we die. We just die of some sort of disease when we get old. Something is going to take us. I was talking to one of my friends the other day, and I would look back at photos of the 1920s to the 1950s, and it's like every single person smoked cigarettes, but every picture, everybody seemed so happy and carefree. You watch all those old movies, and everybody's smoking cigarettes and drinking, but they all died of lung cancer, but at least they knew what they were going to die from. It's like today, it's like all this health craze, and we're trying to extend our lives as long as possible, but I don't know that that's the right thing to do. Maybe a year and a half or 2 years ago, if you go back in my videos, you'll see a video that says why I want to die when I'm 75, and it's on the thumbnail, so you can find it pretty easily. But I read this article that was written by a pretty popular doctor who writes articles, and it's his article why he wants to die at 75, and he makes a pretty good case. He basically says he's not going to intervene in his own death. If something happens to him, hypothetically, if he gets cancer, he's not going to get chemotherapy or radiation. He's not going to do anything. He's going to let whatever happens. He's not going to intervene in his own health, which I find kind of fascinating, and I think I'm kind of signed up with that line of thought. Now, I try desperately to keep myself in shape and to try to be healthy, but not to a point that I make myself miserable. I will eat chocolate, and I'll eat cake. I'll enjoy some of life's pleasures, and I'm not so strict that all I focus on is, oh no, that's bad for me. I just try to do the basics, and not overindulge. But I don't get carried away, and I think that that's the right mindset. I think people obsess sometimes about trying to live longer, but I think the stress of that obsession could actually hurt them more than it helps them. Time will tell. But I think, so when you think about the benefits of, I hate to say the benefits of dying because it sounds so cruel, but for those people that do have a fear of death, they're dreading losing this life. And I think the important thing to focus on is what happens after we die. For example, most religions offer up eternal life. So, for example, I know Christianity and Islam and Judaism, they offer eternal life. I forgot to turn my furnace off. Damn it. Hopefully that doesn't bother you too much. Well, maybe because I changed my microphone setting, maybe it won't pick it up so much. I've actually had some people say they like it. Anyway, back to religions. And so these religions offer up eternal life, and it's one of the things that really, it really bothers me about religious people, because these people that say they believe, but they don't live like they do. It's like, I've heard the term hypocritian, meaning hypocrite, for people that are Christians that don't walk the talk. It's like, oh yeah, they say they believe, but then they don't live like they do. And they have convinced themselves that they can live however they want and still get that prize. But for me, I've read that book, and I know what it takes. I know what the rules are, and why anybody would jeopardize not getting billions upon billions upon billions of years to live. You get 70, 80, 90, maybe 100 if you're lucky here. So in relation to eternity, it means nothing at all. It's like nothing. If you can imagine, it would be like holding on for dear life to $100 when somebody's offering you $1 billion, and you're like, nah, I want to play with my 100 here. What? You see, that's what I don't understand about people that claim to believe in their religion and don't walk their talk. It's just always bothered me. I think primarily because my dad was like that. My dad was, he went to church every Sunday morning, Sunday night, Wednesday night. He forced us all to go. But he was just a dictator. He was not a good man. He was mean. And that part bothers me. And so, having been raised like that, I'm sensitive to hypocrisy now. Now, I don't go around judging people. And I see it though all the time. And I do think, like, if you do believe, I think it's one thing that you should really think about committing to your religion, because it is, if you think you have this possibility of this ultimate prize, why would you take a chance on risking not having it? It's just too much of a risk to take. It's not good. So that is one way that I think that religious people that should help them with their fear of death by focusing on the eternal life. Focus on the prize that you get. If you've lost loved ones, that eternal life also allows you the belief that you get to see those people that you've lost again. And to me, that's a glorious thing. If you've lost someone that you love and you get to see them again, I mean, that's That's a beautiful thing. So that's one thing that I think would really help people with their fear of dying, is to change your focus of losing this life and focus on gaining the new one. Focus on the benefits of what happens when you leave this place. Because in most religions, it's supposed to be a lot better than it is here. For people that are not religious, like myself, the way I've came to terms with it is that I'm not like one of these people that say, oh, I don't believe in any religion, and so I just know I turn to dirt when I die. Because I'm not so arrogant to say I know what happens to me when I die. I don't know. So for me, and the way my thought process works is, I think about what are all the possibilities. What could be out there? Could there be something after this? And so for me, there's just like eons of possibilities. And I'm excited to see what it is. I don't know. The one thing I do know, if it's nothing, I'll never know. And so that, for me, is what keeps me from having a fear of dying. I appreciate this life. I live every day with gratitude and appreciation for it. But if I lose it, it's just going to go. And probably there's nothing I can do about it anyway. And so I have developed this mindset where my curiosity for the afterlife makes me kind of excited to see what's on the other side. So that's the way I look at it. I truly do feel like some sense of excitement for what to see what happens. I want to know what's on the other side. It would be glorious if I got to see my brother again. It would be glorious if I got to see all my animals that I lost again. Do I think it's going to happen? I don't know. But there's a chance, you know. Now, religious people might tell me, oh, Derek, you're in trouble because you're going to burn for eternity. And I know that that's the punishment I face if Christianity is right, if Islam is right, if Judaism is right. Yeah, I'm gonna hate what happens to me when I die, because I'm a non-believer. But they all have the same punishment for me. So if you're a Muslim, you're gonna, and Christianity's right, you're gonna burn in the Christian's hell. If you're a Christian and the Muslims are right, you're gonna burn in the Muslim's hell. If you're a Jew and the Christians are right, you're gonna burn in the Christian's hell. And you see how it is. Everybody's got their own hell. But for me, because I don't believe I have freedom from all those, I don't believe that's an alternative. I just personally don't believe that a creator would give me this life that I didn't even ask for and say, here's this life. If you don't live it the way I want you to, not only are you going to lose that life, but you're going to spend billions upon billions upon billions of years burning. No. There's no way there's a creator that is that wicked. You know, that would be like, telling somebody, they stole a candy bar from a store, so you're going to put them in prison for the rest of their life and make them, be water tortured every day. The punishment doesn't fit the crime, and I think in that instance, it just can't. I just can't wrap my head around the fact that some creator would do that, would create such a wicked set of rules, and then also put you on a planet where there are hundreds of options, and you just have to hope I just don't feel like that's the possibility. I just really don't. So I don't have that fear. I literally have zero fear of burning for eternity. I have zero, absolutely none. But I have a curiosity of what could be, you know? That we just have some sort of spirit life. You know, some people believe in, what's the word? When you become something else. You guys are probably saying it right now, wishing I could think of it, but I can't think of it. It's, yeah, it'll come to me. You guys know what I'm talking about. But yeah, maybe I become a bird. I would want to be like a dog if I could find an owner like me. But I wouldn't want to be a dog for like an owner that keeps him on a chain outside. That's a whole nother topic for another day. But I don't know. I would like to be a bird. Birds are so lucky to be able to fly around and have that kind of freedom. And be able to survive without having to like build shelters. They build nests, but you know, they don't have to work and acquire things. And like survival today, we need so much to just survive in this world, like the internet, cell phones, car insurance, health insurance, cars, houses, food. It's a lot. It takes a lot to survive. And I think that that's another thing to think about when you think about having a fear of death, is that life is hard. Life here is hard. You know, no matter how good we got it, you know, it can be so challenging. And like, even like the human condition, it's like we have to. It's not like you can just wake up and do whatever you want. No, you have to put food in your body. You have to expel that food. You know, you have to get rid of it. The physical aspect of being human. The things that we have to do. Eat and pee and poop. We get sick, you know. It's hard. You know, we have to, the chores that we have to do, we have to go to the grocery, or you have to go out and hunt, you know. It's like the things that we have to do to physically survive is challenging. We have to make money, you know. We have to go to doctor's appointments, and especially when we get old, and imagine going to a nursing home and that kind of stuff. It's just a hard life. And so that's another reason not to be afraid of death, because we get to set ourselves free from the burdens of being human. Because we know for a fact our bodies rot. That's one thing we know. We can dig up people that died 2 years ago and look at them and realize, okay, the body goes away, right? We know the body definitely goes away. So what happens? A part of us must leave if there is some sort of afterlife, and we refer to that part of ourselves as our souls. So if that energy, that life energy, is able to go somewhere else, whether it's in reincarnation, ding ding ding. See, my mind came up with the term. I knew it would, reincarnation. So maybe we become something else. Maybe we just become energy. You know, maybe we do go someplace, you know, and we know we don't have those bodies, but maybe we have an entity of some sort, a spirit energy. Like, for example, if like my brother, would I be 50 and he be 18 still? It wouldn't work, right? So I think whatever there is for an afterlife, we're all probably the same. Like an infant that died wouldn't be forced to be an infant for all of eternity, right? So somehow we're probably all the same age. You know, I don't know. Those are kind of things. Those are things we just don't know. So that's why I believe it's like looking up at the stars at night. It's like, wondering what's out there. Like, we know there's other planets like ours. Likely there's life out there, and just looking out there and wondering what it must be like wherever they are. Whatever's out there, we just don't know. And it's the same thing for the afterlife. We just don't know. Even like if you are religious and you're 100% committed to your religion, heaven is never described perfectly. I mean, you hear streets of gold and gates of pearl, so there is some sort of physical aspect, but never like, here's the age you're going to be in heaven, here's the age your loved ones will be. So you still have a sense of wonder, and I think that that is how we alleviate the fear. Look forward, find the beauty in the curiosity, the beauty in the wonder of it. Know that you will have so much more time, and in that life there is no more fear of death. You get one death, and that's your death here. And after that, you get more. So that is how I believe we get over it. That's how we conquer our fear. And you just have to, I'm not saying it's like a light switch. If one of you's out there and you really are truly afraid of dying, I think by adopting this mindset and working on it, that eventually over time you will feel that freedom and that release from that that fear, that pain you feel that maybe one day this life will be over. Because that's the one thing that is certain: we will all not be here someday. Sadly, it's coming for all of us, and that's why it's just so important that we have as much joy as we can in our lives today. So I wish you all a very joyful day, night, however you're listening to this. I hope you guys will have a great day tomorrow, and I will see you on the next one. Good night.